Hey, Jesus Christ. Goodness me. Is everybody okay? Are you all feeling all right? Pulse doing okay? Are we all good? Just back down to earth a little. Honestly, I've only been doing this beat like 2 years. I've only been doing this beat two seasons. But out of all the times that I've even watched football on the telly, I've never ever experienced anything like that in my life. And while that was awesome in terms of like just the rush and stuff, never, ever do that ever again, please, Derby. Never. I just we're all there are people with high blood pressures and heart problems. We can't be doing this to them. So that was just fucking mad. um, Everybody go and enjoy, all the players and coaching staff, go and enjoy your summer holidays. Jeez Louise, man. And never put yourselves through it again. Never put us through it again. Here is to the end of the season. Woo! Right. So where do we even start to unpack this then? Where do we even begin to unpack this? I'll tell you where we'll start unpacking it with Martyn fucking Waghorn. That's where we'll start unpacking the game. That was the best game that I've seen Waggy play since I've been covering the beat. He might have had better games in the one season that he was there before I turned up, but that was Waghorn's best game since I turned up. He was outstanding, absolutely brilliant. His rotations were great. You'd find him as a 9, and then you'd find him out on the left. You'd find him on the right. You'd find him spinning in behind. You'd find him dropping deep. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful stuff. The first goal is like classic number 9 stuff. You know, he's inside the box, gets across his marker for the front post. Really good clipping ball by Lawrence, by the way. Really good run from Graham Shinney to set that up too. And Waggy just rises highest and boom, you know, heads it in, and that's really good. The second goal is so good. You know, he drops deep, and Patrick Roberts is there around him. Good, strong play from Waggy. The perfect, because if the way to pass is wrong, then the move is dead. But he gets the way to pass just really, really nice. You know, Roberts doesn't even have to break stride, and all of a sudden, you know, it's 2-1, and Derby are in the driver's seat. And then the third goal, obviously he puts the penalty away, but he actually has a big hand in the third goal as well. It's a brilliant ball from Colin. That's the similar ball that he gave for Waggy's goal against Huddersfield, where Colin drops deep. He's basically playing as like a 6 or an 8, and he just, you know, puts a drilled low ball through, and he gives it to Waggy on the left, and then it's a really good ball from Waghorn into Uzviak, who actually Uzviak's run was really good as well, because it's easy to drift offside when you're just gunning for it, but Uzviak actually is really patient with that run down the middle. And he gets that run spot on. And then can I be honest? I'm going to be honest. When Waggy spotted the ball up, and when I heard Cardiff had gone level. Hello, everybody, by the way, in the chat. I am seeing you all. I will get to you all. Hello, everybody. Love you all. When Waggy spotted the ball up, I just thought, I have an awful feeling because we can't have nice things that he's going to miss. Well, I guess I can eat shit because he didn't miss. He put that ball almost through the net and into orbit like that. There was no way he was missing that, and that was a pressure penalty. Like, think of the stakes here. Like, if he misses that, everyone is blaming him for them going down. Everyone would blame him for him going. It wouldn't have been true, but in the heat of the moment, you know, in the heat of emotions and stuff like that, so many people would have blamed him for missing that penalty. That's a pressure kick, and Wayne Rooney alluded to that, or didn't allude, but spoke about that in the post-game press conference. That, you know, that was a big boy moment from Martyn. You know, to take that penalty under that pressure. So yeah, just absolutely wonderful. Also, he beat the shit out of a post, because why not? Honestly, that looked horrific, by the way. And I I actually thought it was a goal because Ed Dawes on BBC Radio Derby, so blame him. He went goal, and I thought, oh, the ball's rippled, and like he can get a slightly better angle from it from where I was. He's slightly further down and lower, so I thought, oh, goal. And then all of a sudden, Mike Dean is like really waving over. You guys will have seen it on TV. And Mike Dean's really waving over, and Wednesday players are waving over. And then maybe it's off camera, but then because they're focusing on the incident. But Liam Rosenior and Rooney just kind of turn around with their hands on their head. And you're just thinking, oh, my God, what has gone on? But he gets up and he carries on. I trust that the concussion check went all well. They're professionals. I am not. So I trust that concussion check was fine. So, yeah, Waghorn also beat up a post. Good stuff. Like it. The goals that they conceded. We should probably talk about the goals that they conceded. Basic goals again. And now they stayed up. Just bin the lot. Bin the fucking lot. And we'll start again next season. But, really high up Rooney and Rosenior and Walker and Gibbons' priority list should be how they mark up from set pieces and second balls as well. Rooney had said that yesterday they trained at Pride Park specifically on set pieces, specifically for these scenarios. So it mustn't be the lack of work that is happening, but something's amiss there, clearly. Because 2 of the 3 goals that Wednesday scored today are from set pieces. One comes from a throw-in, which wasn't a Wednesday throw-in. That to me is the biggest gripe with Wednesday's first goal. Not the offside. I actually think he's onside. I actually think Hutchinson is onside. I think it's marginal, but I think he's on. It's the throw-in. It's not the throw-in. It's Derby's throw-in. That for me is the gripe. Doesn't excuse bad marking, though. Doesn't excuse poor marking. Where is the Ute gone? I said I'd do it, didn't I? I said I would do it, so we're gonna fucking do it, I guess. So yeah, they have to address this for next season. They have to absolutely address it for next season. Don't concede set piece goals like this, because if they don't, like if Derby don't concede the soft goals that they did, they're probably, I wouldn't say comfortable, but they're lower mid-table, which in the context of this season would have been fine. So there's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of turnover in that squad to do. A lot of work to do. What else? What else are we hitting on? There was so much. There was so much to get to. We'll get to all you guys in the comments now. Actually, hello, Nav. You're always the first one in here, Nav, or the first comment in here. Anyway, hello. Easy, never worried. Yeah, me neither. I was never worried either. Never at all. Never ever worried. Not once. It's to all of you, by the way. All of you just kick so much ass. Thank you for engaging in this stuff and being on the timeline and just all, because without all of you guys and girls, I am rendered useless. I don't have a job. So love all of you. Thank you so very much. Waghorn, I'm sorry, you are forgiven. I mean, let's not dress up here. Like, Waghorn's had a bad season. He's had a bad season, but man, if you're going to make up for a subpar 45 previous games, you do it like that. That is how you do it. And then, and I've read some stuff on Twitter about, if he'd have done this throughout the season more often and stuff like, well, if a lot of Derby players and coaches and managers and owners had done a lot of things throughout this season more often, probably wouldn't have been in this mess. But we are. This is where we are, and this is how it is. So, if some buts and all that, if your auntie had balls, she'd be your uncle, and all those kind of cliches, I guess. It just matters right now that he turned it on today. Colin was really good after a very 20 minutes as well. Patrick Roberts had put in there as well. Colin and Patrick both had very quiet first 20-25 minutes or so, and then after that, Colin started dropping deep a lot to link play and get around the midfield. Midfield runners would go beyond. Jason was poor today, in my opinion, but Graham was really good. And then Patrick would sort of buzz off and around Colin and pick the ball up. And when he's picking the ball up, he's already in stride, so he doesn't have to gain speed. He's already got the speed, and he whizzes past players really easily. After half an hour or so, I thought they were good, and there was plenty of hustle in there as well. Tom Lawrence, shout out for Tom. Magnificent in his defensive efforts today. I criticised him after the Swansea game. I believe rightly criticised him after the Swansea game because he switched off and just left his guy 10 yards away. But I can't, like, he was so focused on his defensive work today. He was physical from defending corners. He was physical in tackles. He was physical going up for aerial battles, and he won his fair few as well. Like, fair fucks. Like, he won his fair few. And then on the other end of the things, and I've tweeted this already, Tom has been involved in 6 of the last 9 goals that Derby have scored. Say what you want about him. Say what you want. He has held up his end of the bargain on that thing. And that is what he's kind of in the team to do. He's held up his end of the bargain on that. No one can criticise him for that. 3 goals, and I'm going to say 3 assists because he wins the penalty against Luton, which Shinnie dispatches. Class that as an assist. 3 goals, 3 assists since he came back in April. He's done his job. He's held up his end of the bargain. And one wonders again, had he been fit for the majority of the season, where Derby would have been. But since he's come back, he's been brilliant. And today, he was absolutely brilliant. The ball for Waghorn's goal is really, really good because that's such a delicate little clip. You know, if he hits that too soft, the first man cuts it out. If he hits it too hard, then you have one where Waggy's like that far away from it. It's such a delicate little clip, and it's so easy to get wrong. And he puts it on a plate for Waggy. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant today. Where are we? My heart has just settled down after the missus picked me up off the floor. I hope you're all right, Dad Gamer. I hope we're all right, man. I hope we're all good. Here's to you. Waghorn gave me a heart attack in the first 10 minutes. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. Give Waggy another year. Here's the thing, right? Martyn Waghorn is in Chris Martin territory, right? He's 31. This next contract is probably going to be his last big contract in terms of his personal monies and earnings, because be it 2 year, 1 year, 2 year, 3 years, once you get 30 to 32, one would think that you're not going to make as much as you did when you were 29. So this is a delicate time for Waghorn and the club now. Now, I understand it that the club do want to keep him, and Waghorn is happy at the club. But as always, this was the same situation with Chris Martin. As always, in the end, it comes down to cash and the structure of the deal as well. So we'll see. Do I think Martyn Waghorn is worth keeping around this squad? Absolutely. Every squad in the Championship needs a Martyn Waghorn. I will die on that hill. Is he inconsistent? Absolutely, he's inconsistent. Would you like him to get more goals? Absolutely, you would like him to get more goals. But is he a good Championship player that is versatile, will work hard, and as he's shown today, can take over a game? He absolutely is. And for that, I'd want him in my squad. I don't think I would want him as the main striker, but I'd want that guy in my squad. I'd need that guy in my squad. So do I think he's worth another year? Definitely. I think he's worth another 2 years, definitely. Rooney said we've been fantastic and a credit all season. He's on another planet. Dave, do you mean like the players or you guys as fans? Who do you mean? Be more specific in that. How do you see next season panning out? New ownership, same manager, out of contract players. Ben, how do I see it? So same manager, I think Rooney stays. New ownership, I think Mel has to sell up. I just think he has to sell. I think he's put a lot of money into the club. I think he's tired of that. And I also think in terms of just actual cash that he can put into the club, I think, yeah, it's kind of running low, relatively speaking, in football terms. So, yeah, out of contract players, I think Derby should look to keep, I think they should look to keep all 3. But just on the, even if they keep all 3, this team still needs 8. Maybe new players. You keep Curtis because he's a natural leader. Maybe put him in a player coach role, right? Andre Wisdom, I think you like as a squad player. And Waggy, well, I've just explained about Waggy. So I would look to keep all 3. Do I think they'll keep all 3? No, I don't. I'm not sure. I think maybe after today, Waghorn might stay. I think maybe he might stay, but the other 2, I'm not so sure. But also because it kind of feels like that Ted and Mengi will be back. I know he's back at United now because of injury, but before that, Rooney had talked a lot about, he basically wants him back, and United are happy to send him back. So we have to wait on that situation. Thank you for this season, Ryan. Absolute legend. Thank you, Edward. I really appreciate that. I'm going to be disappearing for Sunday and Monday, and I'll be back next week at some point to do words on stuff. But I'll be here, and I'll be here next season as well. Don't you worry about that. Hi, Ryan. Glad you survived the afternoon. Do you think DCFC will reimburse me for my remote control, which I do? No, I don't, Tom. No, no. I mean, unfortunately, no, mate. That is on you. But send it in. Send in your broken remote control. Maybe they'll send you a shirt on them or something like that. Kieran, I normally miss your messages, Kieran, so I'm getting you here. What a full season for you, Ryan. Up, and down. Something has to change. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I'm really sorry that in the past I've missed your comments. It's not on purpose. Just sometimes you guys are active in the chat. So yeah, I really, really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, this season, I mean, since I turned up here, and I think it's just coincidence, but maybe I'm cursed. The club has just been mad. Like, I turned up, and then the day after, Wayne Rooney turned up. That's like, yeah, of course he fucking has. But no, he really did turn up. And then obviously since then it's just been crazy. But like, now I've got used to it. I don't think I'd have it any other way. No, Dave, that's fair. You can't give Waghorn a good deal over 5 good games. That is fair. I think, and I know, and every sport is like this. Sport is, what have you done for me lately? But we shouldn't forget that Martyn was the top goal scorer with Chris Martin last year, and everyone wanted Chris Martin to stay last year. Well, most people. So I don't think we can forget that. He's had a bad season this year. Yes, he has, but hasn't every player really? Like, this is why Derby are where they are, because no one has really consistently performed at their true potential, right? So, no, I don't think you can give him a good contract over 5 good games, but I think across the course of 2 seasons, you can look at it and say, yeah, he's the kind of guy that I want in my squad. If the money's right, because obviously for Derby it has to be right, and for Martyn it has to be right as well. So yeah, the Athletic would have never let you drop down to League One. They would have for Derby. So to peel back the curtain a little bit, it was a genuine anxiety of mine because I didn't know what was happening. But the consensus was that, well, Derby are a massive club, and they're, for one reason or another, they're always newsworthy. And Wayne was there as well. And also, excuse me, and also, I wanted to stay. I was nervous and unsure, of course I was, but A, I didn't want to move again, and B, kind of really like you guys. So that was fun for me. On the Burn man of the match for me. Charlie, what? No, behave, Charlie. I respect you, Charlie, but Martyn Waghorn was man of the match. We all have to agree on that, or we're all fucked. Martyn Waghorn was man of the match. Nathan was very good. Defensively, he was really good again. But Martin's got to get man of the match for me. But I respect your right to be wrong, Charlie. Can we still get a points deduction this season from the EFL appeal? Chris, I honestly believe that Derby will win that appeal. In my opinion, the EFL case was fought so poorly that there's no way that they win that appeal. In my opinion, and I don't see any way that gets overturned. So my answer is no. On the plus side, I can keep my Forest colleague quiet tomorrow morning. Do it, Kieran. Do it. Thank you, Monkey Trouser. Great name. Thank you very much. Thank you, Edward. It is a good turtleneck. Hello, Korean Rams. I'm doing well, thank you. How are y'all doing? Thank you. Burn Player of the Year. Shane, I would agree overall that Burn should be Player of the Year. Yes, I would agree with that. I think he's been the most consistent across the year. And I mean, his crossing has been out of this world at times as well. His crosses have been so good this time. I think along with Burn, you look to Colin. Now, Colin tailed off. Obviously, Colin wasn't featured until, like, properly. He was getting off the bench for like 5-10 minutes here and there, but he wasn't really featured until Wayne got interim charge, sole interim charge. And he has tailed off quite a significant amount in the last, 10 games, I'd say. But without Colin in December, January, and February, this club had done. Like he was that's how, like, honestly, that's how vital he was. Not to blow smoke up his arse or anything like that, but you look at the general play that he had, you look at the goals that he scored, the timing of the goals that he scored, the assists that he had. Without Colin in January, in December, January, February, they're cooked out there. He was that instrumental for them. So for that reason alone, I'd put him in the Player of the Year reckoning. He was that good. He really was. Jason Knight, I love Jason. I really do like Jason. I think he's tired towards the end of the season as well. But I always think that he has been really, really, really good. But no, for me, the correct one, Shane, is Nathan. Is Nathan Byrne. Thank you very much, Dave. I really appreciate that. You got to get dressed up for it, haven't you? You got to get dressed up for it. Oh shit, I've lost my place. Man, you guys are active. One moment. Fuck's sake. Where are we? Where's the uke? I've answered that. The uke's down here. 1 minute. Are you staying covering DCFC next year? I am absolutely staying covering DCFC next year. There's no way I'm leaving. You cannot take me from this football club. Yes, I'll be here next season. I've already started planning 4 bits for next season. So yeah, I'll be here next year. Saw people reference Sibley and Ebersely did some time wasting. Did you see anything like that? They're shit houses. I love Louis Sibley for a lot of reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is he's a total shithouse, and I love it. Like he doesn't care. He'll buy, if he's on the pitch and they're winning, he'll buy cheap fouls. When he's like on the sidelines just warming up and stuff, he'll kick the ball away when the player's going for a throw-in and all sorts of stuff like that. He's a complete shithouse, and I love him for it. He's excellent. He's really good. And hopefully next season we'll see a bit more consistency from Louis. We didn't get that this season. I also think expectations were just through the roof for Louis, considering what he had done against Blackburn, which feels like a different lifetime, and then Project Restart against Millwall. And I know hopes have been bright for him since he was basically 17 days old or whatever it is. But he is still learning. He is still a kid in this game. He is going to have bad patches. He's going to have bad seasons. And we just hope that this is the one that it's not quite happened for him yet. Plus also the turnover in manager, the uncertainty, all that stuff. It's not a conducive environment to a young player having to learn. And also he was playing on the left a lot as well. It's not conducive to him having to be his best self as a player, basically. But like, he's obviously got the ability, the talent, and just hope that next season is much, much better for him. But don't be so harsh on Louis. That goes for Max as well. Like, when I tweeted that Max Bird was getting ready, some of you lost your goddamn mind, and I'm thinking you just have to go easy on Max for Louis as well. And like, on the last day of the season, in a game that we had to have, just throw all your positive vibes that come from your vibe center in here somewhere. Just fucking throw them at the TV screen. Whether Max has had an inconsistent season or not doesn't matter. What mattered is the 25 minutes or whatever it was when he came onto the pitch. That's what mattered. We just have to try and bring positive vibes to that. And you know what? He did fine. Was he great? No. Was he bad? No. He was fine. He was okay. So, yeah, look, has Max been great this season? No. But he has had spells where he's been, particularly at Norwich, Blackburn, fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And we'll die on that hill. His season has gone like that and has gone more like towards the bottom end of that. Still a young kid, loads of potential. And in those games, particularly against Blackburn and Norwich, a very good footballing team in Norwich that will dominate midfield if you let them. He showed that he can play some really good football, really good football. He's got it in him. He just needs, to come along a bit. So yeah, that's just me on Max Bird. I love how much Tom Lawrence loves the club after everything that's happened. Yeah, as I said, Ben, earlier, Tom was wicked today, really, really good. And I have, and look, I early in my time covering the club, I sent out a very snippy tweet about Tom where I said he shouldn't play significant minutes for Derby anymore. That was a dog shit. That was a dog shit take by someone who was dog shit at the time. And I actually massively regret that. And Tom has made me eat shit pretty much every single time he stepped on the pitch since that. And I'm pretty happy he has done that. Like that's awesome. So he's been really, really good. Particularly since the turn of the year when he came back into the side in 2020 and he was just excellent. And since he's come back from injury now, he's been really good. I understand the frustrations. But he's a fucking star. If he picks the ball up from 25 yards, whether you think he's shit or he's quality, you get on the edge of your seat because you know that he's got that in his locker, and that's a star quality that not a lot of players have. Big search for goalkeeper this window. That is an excellent question, Nathan. Obviously, David Marshall will be going to the Euros this summer, and that is a shop window for him and for Derby, because if a club in a top division would like him, they would pay probably good money for him. And also, he's not getting any younger and maybe wants to see out the final days of his career at the highest level possible. But the fact that he and Keller have chopped and changed all season, we're here again, aren't we? We're here again. We're looking at the end of the season at the goalkeeper position and thinking, who is our undisputed number one? So, yeah, I would... that is a position I would circle and think would be assessed this year. To be honest, I'd circle loads of positions and think they'd be assessed this year, but goalkeeper is definitely one of them. Where are we? Any ideas why Marshall fell out of favour? So I think there are a few things. The first one is when he'd been injured the 2 times this season, Keller had come in and done really well. Like he had played really, really well. And Rooney had openly said that everyone's place is up for grabs. So if Keller plays well, it's hard to then drop him to the bench. The other one is that Marshall had started to make just a few mistakes, in my opinion. I thought he'd started to make a few errors that for a goalkeeper of his usual quality and consistency was not in keeping with him. The goal at Blackburn, that isn't all his fault, in my opinion. That's Andre Wisdom, Graham Shinney, and then David Marshall. But I think David can get a stronger hand to that. And then obviously there's the Preston game as well. So I think it's just... yeah, I think it's competition for places. Obviously, if you're a goalkeeper, you need consistency and want him to, as a goalkeeper, you want to keep playing between the sticks to build up a rapport with your 2 centre-backs in particular. But I think that's something that we'll assess over the summer. Fozzie, love him, being a tremendous servant to the club. Oh my, today and the last few months, he just looked like a liability. Yeah, Dad Gamer, yeah. I like Craig. I think actually defensively he's maybe a bit more sound than Lee. I thought in this game Lee should have got the nod for no other reason than a bit more energy, and I think he's got the legs over Craig. He's got younger legs and doesn't have 3 torn ACLs. Naturally, that's no insult to Craig. I thought he would have gone with that. I think maybe Rooney was anticipating a much more direct game from Sheffield Wednesday and therefore went with the height of Forsyth. But I would think next season, provided he stays at the club, because we don't know what happens in the window, I would think next season that Buchanan is almost nailed on to be the consistent number 1. But I still think Fozzie has a place in this team. I still think he does have a place in this team. This team is young. What you have to remember is this team is still really, really young. Some of them are still in nappies. And you need experience. You can't just get rid of all your experienced guys. That is football madness. You know, Curtis is out of contract. Waggy's out of contract. Andre's out of contract. Who else we got? That, you know, Chris Martin ain't here no more. Tom Huddleston ain't here no more. Wayne Rooney's on the sidelines now. These are all guys that have been around a lot. Like, whether you think they're good or bad players, they at least have experience and a lot of league games under their belt. You can't just get rid of all of them because you think they're not. Fine, they're not good enough to start 46 championship games. Fine. But you need those guys in your squad. You just do, particularly when you've got Max Bird, Jason Knight, Lee Buchanan, even Camille, who's 22. Who else am I missing here? You know, Tedden, who when you've got so many young players, you need guys like that in the squad. So I think Fozzie still does have a place in this squad. Robert's available on a free, isn't he? Yeah, he is, Tom. Yeah. Would you want him back? I think today was his best performance. But yeah, Roberts. So I mean, Man City honestly don't have a use for Patrick Roberts. That feels cruel and obvious to say. But yeah, I would sign him. My worry would be, is he too much like Tom? And that isn't a dig at all. I just wonder if Derby need proper out and out wingers, guys that can stretch the pitch rather than want to cut inside. But look, he's lively. Obviously, he's shown pretty much every game something that he can do. He always looks to take a player on. But outside of, I think Yeah, I'd take him. I think I would like him on a permanent, but I would also like to add another wide player as well. Thanks for the coverage. No, thank you for sticking around for the coverage. Wall Smith, I really appreciate it. Hi, Benjamin Solomon. Bielik back, Mengi back, but the key has to be the start. Yeah, first of all, Christopher Nicky Butt, as I understand it, was no from the absolute start and remains no now. However, with that remains no now as Mel Morris is in charge of the football club. Who knows what happens if and when Eric Alonso gets charge of the football club? I think one thing we might see in terms of a backroom reshuffle is maybe a couple of coaches are added. Maybe we'll see that. Bielik coming back will be huge. Mengi coming back will be huge. But they still need a lot of players. They do still need a lot of players. They need 2 strikers minimum 2. In my opinion, they need a left winger, a true left winger. They need another creative player, 2 creative players, 1 at a 10, 1 deep. Those of you that are regulars to this show will know my feelings on Louis Sibley. Great attacking midfielder. Don't think he's a floaty number 10 that plays between the lines and looks for a killer pass. So yeah, they still need a lot of players. But Bielik back, get Mengi back. Suddenly things look in a lot better shape. Polo necks and dressing gown coats with designer shoes. What can we await for next season? That is an interesting question. That is an interesting question. Yeah, we'll have to go for a fashion overhaul, won't we, Nav, and see. If Rooney stays, surely this summer he needs to do more to gain better management. Yeah, Matt, I think this is fair. Look, Rooney, as we keep saying, technically is unqualified, right? Like we just have to say that because he doesn't have his pro license yet. But he was studying for his A license before the pandemic. So one would imagine that he will get that kind of experience. He will have also learned from this experience. He will have, taken a lot from it. The team have lacked identity so far under Rooney. Yeah, that is also a fair point. That is a fair point, caveated a little bit with the fact that Rooney was basically saying there is no identity. It is game to game. We will find out what this team's identity is when we go into next season, because that is when Rooney had said that they will be stamping their identity on this squad. Now, in my opinion, I both understand that and think that's a little strange, because I think you're still going to have 10 players or however many players from this squad around next season. So, instill methods on them that they can then pass on to new signings and make it easier. On the other hand, you go, well, 9 or 10 players, key players, might leave the club this summer. So what good does it do to try and install an identity? So I understand both sides of it. I understand why you would do that. And I also understand why that's a little bit strange and weird. And yeah, so yes. What do you think about Stephen Bywater saying on Twitter that players shouldn't have celebrated at full time and should have walked off shaking? Look, everyone has there's always someone that has that kind of take. But like in the moment and you're emotional, yeah, I don't think they were celebrating because this was a great achievement. It's fucking relief, isn't it? Like, it's relief. Have you ever done something that has paid off, and out of pure relief, you just let that emotion out? Like, I don't think those players are fucking happy that they finished 1 spot above the relegation zone. I don't think they're happy about that. But it's relief. They're humans. It's fucking human emotion. Let them just be human for 1 fucking minute. So I always think that take is a garbage take, regardless of if it's Bywater or anyone else. I always think that take's a garbage take. They're not robots. They're going to react differently. This season has been a season of manager sackings, players being paid late, EFL appeals, fucking what else you got? Takeovers falling through, new takeovers coming to light, relegation battles, sliding towards relegation, and so much other stuff. And they finally stay up, and you want them to just shake hands and walk off the pitch? Not for me. I respect that opinion, but in my opinion, I think that's garbage. I don't subscribe to that personally. Look, there we go. Thank you, Talk Derby County. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Edward. Really appreciate that as well. Streaming, not steaming. We'll see, Charlie. Where are we? Y'all are not leaving until I play the ukulele either, are you? I'm gonna whiz through these last few, and then we'll get to it. Bruce is the worst goalkeeper I've seen in 45 years of watching the Rams. I've only been on the planet for 28, so I'll take your word for it. I want to see a Derby County promotion push, Ridley. I want to see this next season. We're seeing it next season. That is what is happening. Or alternatively, be really boring and finish like 10th. And I probably wouldn't hate that either because it'd just mean stability. But playoffs, please. That'd be fucking sweet. Realistically, how many additions do we need to the starting 11? Starting 11, well, all right. Realistically, to the squad now, 8, in my opinion. 8. Who's your player of the season? Kieran, Nathan Byrne. I think he's been the most consistent. Game of the season today. How could this be anything other than game of the season? Fucking dead. It was balmy. It was game of the season for all the right and wrong reasons. Maybe for the game that they played the best football in, Swansea at home, in my opinion. They were excellent that day and should have beat Swansea by more than 2. They were really, really good. How bad did it look in the Waghorn's collision with the post look in the stadium? Dan, it looked awful. It really did look bad. And obviously, like in Pride Park, there are no monitors in the press box. All you have to see is what you can see. And it looked pretty bad. And what made it feel worse was the reaction of everyone after it. Like Rosenior and Rooney turned away with their hands on their head. You know, everyone's waving people over quickly. Waggy didn't move for like a minute. He just didn't move. And you sat there thinking, oh, fuck. It was like, in the moment, and obviously TV cameras might be able to give you a better perspective, but when you're just there and can't see anything other than this commotion, like in the moment, you think, I just hope he's okay. Like when he stood up, I was like, oh, fuck me, he's fine. Thank the Lord for that. So, yeah. Ryan, what's your goal of the season? Ooh, that is a good one. I think Collins against Forest. I think it's Collins against Forest. Just for the fact that he tapped Tyler Blackett on the stomach as he's celebrating. I fucking love that. I never get bored of seeing that. Was it the Bristol City game as well that Colin had an absolute rocket? I mean, there's 2 Waggy free kicks in there as well against QPR. Rooney free kick against Norwich. Ooh, yeah, that's tough. Yeah, Colin against Forest. Fuck it, Colin against Forest. For the fact that it was Forest, it was a banging goal. The celebration, yeah, Colin against Forest. Anyone got any idea when the injured players will be back properly? Hi, Mike. So Davis will now be back for pre-season. He ignored medical advice, but he'll be back for pre-season. He ignored medical advice today, but he'll be back for pre-season. Bielik is expected to be back training in October. Pretty much the same timetable as he had when he tore his ACL last year in January. He's expected to be back on the pitch in October. We'll probably expect to see him on the pitch back end of November, start of December. Do you want Rooney to stay? I don't think it really matters what I want. I'm a journalist. Like, first and foremost, I have to just be a journalist. Like, what I want as a fan doesn't really matter. Do I want him to stay? Yeah, as a journalist, yeah, kind of do. He's really fucking newsworthy. And I think, you know, any journalist would admit that he's really newsworthy. You know, when Wayne Rooney's in town, journalists turn up. You know, he's Wayne Rooney. Would I want him to stay? Yeah, sure. Why not? Give us a yeehaw again. Yeehaw! Are you officially a Derby fan, Ryan? Yeah, like it's really difficult to not like the club. It is really difficult. You go through a lot of shit with them, you know. You go through ups and downs with them. You get to talk to, you know. In my job, you talk to the players all the time and the managers all the time. You know, every 2 or 3 days for press conferences, and I always think it's interesting to look at them just as humans, like you know, as people, not as players. Just what makes them tick, what makes them vibe, and when you, in my opinion, when that happens, I think you get a real appreciation for just like, yeah, you want to root for those guys. Like I have so much respect for Tom after what he went through and you know, losing his mum and stuff like that. And I've been there too, and I can relate to him. I was the same age as him when I lost my mum. Shit like that makes you want to root for guys. You know, think like, fuck me, like Tom Lawrence had to go out in front of 25,000 Forest fans who sang he should be in jail when he's kind of battling with his mental health. I couldn't do that. I don't think I could do that. So you root for a guy like Tom. You know, you root for a guy like, you know, Jason, Max, Lee, you know, Louis Watson, Jamal Hector Ingram, Morgan Whitaker. You root for these guys that have, you know, wanted to play professional football all their life, you know, and will do anything to achieve that. And you know how cutthroat football can be. You root for them guys. You root for guys like Colin, who have been cast as journeymen and failures all over their career, and turns up at Derby and everyone thinks, oh fuck me, what's this guy doing here? And suddenly he's like, oh wait, where the hell is this guy? But you root for guys like that, and that makes it difficult to kind of not be invested in them. Do you think we'll see Jordan Ibe next season? Honestly, no. But I think honestly Jordan has got bigger things to sort out. And all that I hope for Jordan Ibe is that he's well. Whatever Jordan Ibe does, I just hope he's well. I just hope that he can get in a happy place, in a healthy place, and I just hope Jordan's well. Lawrence against Reading. That was a banger. Yeah, that was a banger, to be fair. That was an absolute banger. Be a Brentford fan. Did someone ask me about Brentford? What do I think about Brentford? I love Brentford. I think they're a little bit soft. I do think they're a little bit soft. I think you can get at them. But as a footballing team, yeah, wonderful. Ivan Toney, in my opinion, is the best striker in this division. And there's no one else even in his fucking solar system. And I include Timu Pukki in that. There is no one else that is even close to Ivan Toney in this division right now. He is relentless in front of goal. He is brilliant. What is Jason like in person? Very quiet, very unassuming. Doesn't really, I think obviously because he's young and hasn't been exposed to media that much, I think he's very media trained and is quite quiet. I've never actually spoken to Lee one-on-one, but from everything I've heard, Lee is a great kid from everything that I've heard. Excuse me, it's this. Best newcomer to the team, Jimmy. This is the last one. Dad Gamer. I'm not gonna go into that because I don't know, and that is with colleagues that are much better placed to answer those questions than myself. I am not an expert on financial issues and stuff like that. My guys, Matt Slater, is much more equipped to handle that. So that's not me shirking it. That's me saying I'm not comfortable answering it because I don't have the requisite knowledge, I believe. Best newcomer to the team. Got to be Colin, right? Like, if Tedden had stayed fit, you'd probably give Tedden a shout because I thought he was really good since he came in. No, Nathan. Nathan came in this season, and I've just given him my player of the year. Nathan. I love Jaden. I think Jaden is brilliant. I think he's got so much potential, and I actually think in a back three that Sheffield United play, I think Jaden actually excels because he's allowed to go forward first. But I think he struggled defensively. I think Nathan is a much more rounded fullback than Jaden, which is fine because there's about a decade in experience between them. So yeah, best newcomer, I would say Nathan. Right, you all want a song, don't you? Fuck's sake! I knew I was going to have to do this. I should have shut up, but a deal is a deal. Now, two things. One is I'm obviously not a pro. I just do this in my spare time as a little bit of a hobby. And I'm going to have to look at the chord sheet on my phone so I don't fuck things up. And I'm a bit pissed. So we'll see how we get on. For God's sake. I'm only doing this because I love you all, okay? There is to be no clipping of this and putting this on the internet. There's to be no laughing at me. There's to be none of that. None of that is allowed. All right, but you wanted a show, so I guess I'm giving you a goddamn show. What shall we play? What shall we play? What shall we play? You don't get to pick what we play. I pick what we play. Shall we play something really depressing first? I know it's the only reason some of you are here. I'll play you the first song that I actually learned to play on this. I'm only playing simple chords though, because strumming and singing, I'm not sure we'll be able to get that right. Smoking to this. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but If we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things that you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. You just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. There you go. You got your song. Fucking hell. That was nervous. That was nerve-wracking. I've never played to a crowd before. I normally just play in this fucking office on my own. Shall we have one more? We'll have one more. Just because this one's going to be really funny, because this was the second song that I kind of learned to play. This was the second song honestly, I don't learn to play the songs on how much I like the song. I learn to play a song on how easy it is for me to learn. Yeah, we'll play this one. Hang on. Whoever said they were clipping this and putting it on the internet, yeah, I will fucking abandon you. I don't know. Was that you, Ramswriter? Was that you, Simon? I don't do that. Don't. None of y'all can put this on the internet. None of y'all. Oh, right. Okay, let's go. All right. I stay up too late. Got nothing on my brain. That's what people say. Ooh, that's what people say. Ooh, I go to one too many dates, but I can't make a mistake. That's what people say. Ooh, that's what people say. Ooh, but I keep moving. Can't stop, won't stop cruising. I'm so shit in the G-call, cause the player's gonna play, and the haters gonna hate. Baby, I'm just gonna shake. I shake it off. See, no, right, okay, we're done. Anyway, I hope that you all had fun taking the piss out of me. I swear usually I'm better in rhythm and I'm better in time, but we've had, holy shit, 3/4 of a bottle of this. Listen, everybody, we've been on here now for nearly an hour, 50 minutes. So look, I'm going to dash because I really just want to chill and relax and just disappear for a little bit. You all chill, relax. They stayed up. Like, fuck it. They stayed up. Bin it. Please say, how dare you, Turkey? How dare you, Turkey? I don't know how you want me to say that. But look, everybody, enjoy the rest of your weekend. They stayed up. Love every single fucking one of you. Thank you so very much for tuning in, like, throughout all of this season, and for keeping up with all the content and the updates and all that stuff. Go and have a beer. Go be with your friends. Go be with your family. And I will see you next season. Take care, guys. Love you all. Bye.